In monotheism, one god becomes superior and the others are relegated as angels or demons. This may follow the expansion from village to city-state, with centralization of power in the monarch, sultan or emperor. Monotheism was usually victorious over polytheism, as tribal units merged into larger collectives. Its success probably follows this economic and political success. Monotheism originated in the Near East, as it is called in Western Europe, or Southwest Asia if you view from other continents. So what can we say about the validity of religious beliefs? We hope you have seen that the primate brain, attachment and the adult need to closely read others' faces have profound effects on our attributions to a spiritual world. Some religious thinkers have no problems with visionaries having epilepsy. They say God placed his antenna in the temporal lobe so that men might hear him. We will leave it for you to think about. Large parts of the advanced agricultural world embraced either Christianity or Islam for perhaps 1,000 years. Challenges to religious belief then started to arise through scientific discovery. Copernicus realized that the Earth is not the center of the universe. There are many planets, billions of suns and millions of galaxies. This is difficult to reconcile with the special place assigned to mankind by the Torah. Judaism was probably initially monolatry, the recognition of the existence of many gods, but with the consistent worship of only one deity. Moses may be described as monolatric. Angels and devils seem to be relegated lesser gods. Islam is the most insistent on one god and rejects the Christian idea of the Trinity, yet Muslims still attribute lesser deity to angels, the moon and jinn. Jinn are fire beings who can influence the physical world. They have souls and can be saved. The myth of Aladdin and the genie shows how they can be invoked by humans. There are also angels for particular purposes. The judgmental functions of the supreme deity at the moment of death are delegated to the interrogating angels Munkar and Nakir. Allah's spokesman to the last prophet was the angel Gabriel. The pre-Islamic beliefs of Arabia included worship of the moon. The crescent moon is now viewed as an omen of religious events. Meteorites were considered to come from the divine realm in the ancient world. Pharaonic religion believed that iron meteors were semen of gods. Meteorites were the only source of iron in the ancient world. The most holy place at the centre of Mecca is occupied by a black stone, al-Qibla, which may be a meteorite or fused glass. The old religion tends to be incorporated rather than overthrown. Many English people abandoned Norse gods in favour of the Christian god between the 7th and 10th centuries. But the Norse gods and Roman gods were not entirely forgotten. Their names stayed in days of the week and months. The midwinter feast became Christmas, and numerous unwelcome spirits continued as trolls, hobgoblins or imps. The persistence of the old religion in the new is even more evident in Mexico. The Aztec celebration of the dead is now the major festival of the Catholic Church. Judaism involves a rejection of human sacrifice, which had previously been practiced widely in the ancient Near East. The Book of Kings in the Torah describes how the king of Moab gave his firstborn son and heir as a whole burnt offering during a battle with the Israelites. The story of Abraham describes the replacement of human sacrifice with animal sacrifice. God is supposed to have tested Abraham by offering to sacrifice his son, but then provided a ram as a substitute offering. Jews, Christians and Muslims all accept Abraham as the first prophet. We need to think about the psychology of soldiers going into battle, as each of the monotheistic religions was strengthened in battle. The most powerful issue for soldiers is probably loyalty to their comrades. There is a sense of merging oneself into the collective. This means that even if the individual dies, he lives on through the regiment. The second issue in the soldier's psychology is that his thoughts are filled with an ideal, which may be the fatherland or God's work, that can overcome the fear of dying. The believer feels part of a powerful army under the wise leadership of a righteous and great Father. Submission to the one God has been described in relation to the Emperor Constantine and the last prophet of Islam. It is also true of the rise of Judaism, which was strongly connected with the military success of its second ruler, King David. David was made commander of the army by Saul. He went on to conquer the Philistines in the west, the Moabites to the east, Hadadezer to the north, and the Edomites to the south. The palms of the Torah show how David's relationship to Yahweh gave Israel its success. The royal dynasty founded by David was broken after 4 centuries. In Jewish belief, a Messiah will eventually come to resume David's line. Christians interpret Messiah as a spiritual leader rather than a king. Although at some historical times, especially just before World War I, God and king became merged again. The patriotic hymn, "I Vow to Thee My Country," illustrates this. Muslims too revere David as a great military leader and call him Dawood. Submission to an ideal and merging with regiment have therefore been pivotal in Judaism and Christianity, but to Islam, military success was the central factor. In each case, if believers happened to be victorious, their belief that God was on their side was strengthened. The Battle of Badr started as just another raid on a camel train, which the Meccans made a weak attempt to protect. After their success, the Muslim armies went on from victory to victory. Large parts of the advanced agricultural world embraced either Christianity or Islam for perhaps 1,000 years. Challenges to religious belief then started to arise through scientific discovery. Copernicus realized that the Earth is not the center of the universe. There are many planets, billions of suns, and millions of galaxies. This is difficult to reconcile with the special place assigned to mankind by the Torah. Evolution is an even more direct challenge to the theory of creation. There is now strong evidence that species develop if fit individuals survive to breed. And this is difficult to reconcile with the theory of divine creation. Science and mathematics were highly developed in countries where Islam was the official religion in the Golden Age of Islam, from the 9th to the 13th century Common Era. Al-Basir may have believed in sun-centered astronomy as early as the 9th century. Al-Shatir developed a model of rotations which Copernicus later borrowed. Al-Jahiz, a Negro Muslim of slave descent who died in 869, espoused a theory of evolution. He wrote, "White and black are the results of environment, the natural properties of water and soil, distance from the sun and intensity of heat. There is no question of metamorphosis or of punishment, disfigurement or favour meted out by Allah." The decline of monotheism is a consequence of advanced science and technology. Christianity has been losing believers in developed countries since Copernicus, although Christianity remains strong in simpler agricultural societies in Africa. Many countries associated with Islam have fared badly economically in recent centuries, and this has been accompanied by a decline in scientific thought. The recent prosperity of some of these countries may lead to a reappraisal of European-centered scientific history. The theory of evolution may become to be called that of Al-Jahiz rather than Darwin.